Okay, so let's start with these two sentences first. Okay, so I'm using subordinating conjunctions to form my complex sentence. So again, a complex sentence should be a union. Okay, a union between an independent clause and a dependent clause or a subordinating clause. Okay, so first sentence, I'll confess to my crush when the pigs fly. And the second sentence, it's the same thought but a different arrangement. When the pigs fly, I will or I'll confess to my crush. Okay, let's start with the first one. So if I am to break this down, I should be able to find my independent clause and my dependent clause. So how do you know that it is a dependent clause? So it is always introduced by a subordinating conjunction. And in this case, the subordinating conjunction was when. So let me encircle that. Right? So the whole dependent clause in this sentence will be when the pigs fly. I know it may sound like an independent clause. However, technically in this case, it is not independent because of this word. Okay? Because of when. It's his fault. So, blame it on him. Okay? Oh no, there's a glare. Anyway. Okay, so. Right. Okay, so that's our subordinating clause. Let me label that as. That means dependent, okay? I'm just shortening it. Clause, okay. Just CL for clause. That should be understood. And then, my independent clause will be, I'll confess to my crush. Okay? So, makes sense, right? So, there you have it. That's our first example. See? You have here your independent clause. It can stand alone on its own. It makes sense. It has a subject and the predicate. And then followed by my dependent clause introduced by a subordinating conjunction. When the pigs fly. Okay, that's the whole clause. Alright? If you don't have this, the pigs fly. It's just, it's not a dependent clause anymore. You should always have a subordinating conjunction. Okay? So, see, it's very easy, right? Very simple. So, going to the next example. When the pigs fly, I'll confess to my crush. So, same thing. You have your dependent clause here. Double underline, so you can differentiate between the two. Okay, this one then. Okay, so dependent clause and then your independent clause. Going back to the dependent clause, same thing. Although we put it at the beginning of the sentence, we still began with a subordinating conjunction. The only difference is that this time we're putting a comma after that clause before we start with the independent clause. So that's a rule that you have to remember in writing a complex sentence. If you will start your sentence with the dependent clause, it should always be separated from the independent clause using a comma. Whereas, if you will start it with an independent clause, again, IND clause, you don't have to use a comma whatsoever between the two clauses. So, that's one point of difference between the two. Okay? So, yeah, just replay this part if you find it confusing.